Hey, what's going on, guys? So, 7 days out from Guntars. No more heavy lifts. Just going to do some reps. Now, I did yesterday with Jamie. I did 40 kilos for 41. Sorry, all around 41 kilos for 40 reps, and I'm gonna up the weight a bit today. I'm gonna add 10 kilos. Gonna see what I can do for 50 reps, and go from there. Hey, shout out, whilst I'm just thinking, shout out to Artem Taranenko. What a performance. Massive victory over Paul Linn, and not just a victory, but a emphatic one, done in a way that was way more impressive than most people thought. I think 80% of people had Paul Linn as the favourite to win. Of course, I'm happy. I mean, it's nice to see someone that I've beaten, although it was left. Still nice to see someone I've beaten taking a massive scalp like that. I know Artem Baikovs. He's in the USA at the moment over in Washington State. Just won the super heavyweight division there, left undefeated as well. So well done, Mario. And of course, Mario was someone who took on Artem in the same day that I took on Artem on the right. Anyway, all that said, well done, Artem. I genuinely feel like the generation of arm wrestler that is Artem and I, we've both been pulling about 10 years. We're finally catching up to the top tier, and we're going to take over soon. So, well done, Artem. Well done, sir. Very impressed with your performance. So, guys, I'm going to set up this bad boy. Set up to 50 kilos today. Instead of 40 kilos, I'm going to go 50 kilos and see how many reps I can do of 50 kilos. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I've never attempted this weight for reps. So, yeah, let's see what we can do. All right, guys. So, got the 50 kilos on the stack now. I haven't done a warm-up or anything like that. I don't tend to warm up when I do lifts like this. Anyway, back's a bit sore today, but nothing we can't live with. Okay, so 50 kilos. Aim is, I don't actually know what the number is, the aim. Yesterday I did 40 reps of 41 kilos. This is 51 kilos, so it's a significant weight. The rep range is just in this movement right here, which translates to on the table just the most important static power is just this movement here, off the go. So 50 kilos, just grabbing it between the index finger and thumb. Yeah. All right, let's have a look where we get. Was that 12? 12? I think that's 12. 12 reps of 50, 51 kilos. Pretty happy with that. You can see the pace of it was a fair bit slower than the 40 kilos, but that's to be expected, the inertia turning that around. There's not a bounce off the floor, but there is a release of the pressure, a very momentarily release. So I've got the 51 kilos. It goes to zero for a moment, and then I'm back into it straight away. So I do get it's not a continuous floating 51. I am putting it down in between each rep, but still 51 kilos for 12 reps. I'm happy with that. All my preparations between now and the match are just things like this. Oh, I'm just trying to avoid hurting my back now. So same as yesterday, all I do from here is throw on some high reps. All right, let's have a look. Yeah, so all I'm doing from here is throwing on some high reps throughout the hand, throughout the thumb, all those things that matter most. My thoughts and feelings as I'm getting close to this match are really divided. They're divided between fearing and respecting Guntars as being an immensely strong arm wrestler that historically has been way ahead of me. I mean, I've never pulled him since being the chapter that I'm in now. I last pulled him in a practice pull 3 years ago, and he would have been too much for me then. And I have only ever had one genuine ready go with him back in 2014, I think it was, when clearly I was just a year in, so there was nothing there at all. And he was already 15 years in or something at that stage. So I'm torn between that sort of respect and almost intimidation of his status relative to me. And when I think about it that way, I'm really planning really detailed on every little step of what I got to do. And then there's the other side of me that's like, I might turn up there and just be too strong. That bit only sits as in a small corner of my mind as a possibility as to what might happen, but there's a little part of me that says if that happens, then that's pretty cool. I'm going to be a happy man. But yeah, so all I'm doing here right now, guys, is my thumb. As you've seen, it is one of my regular, just high rep movements that I like to do. Neurological efficiencies, picking up as I get closer to a match on the things that are critical. And no matter who I'm facing, the thumb is critical. So that ability to lock your thumb down in a ref grip gives you access to a pivot point in your pronation. And when I'm against Guntars, he is a taller man than me. I think he's at least 6'3", maybe 6'4", where I'm not quite 6'2", and he's got a bigger hand than me. So I think I'm going to have to win high ground with my knuckles up pressure, but my thumb is going to be so crucial to being able to actually engage my pronation. He's going to have a low hand. He's going to have that ability to drag and separate me. So I have to be able to attack his hand and wrist if I'm going the high ground. If I'm going the low ground, still the twist in the setup will scare him enough that it'll open the opportunity to come inside. So that's kind of the things that I'm balancing with in that respect. Outside of that, some wrist flexion. Just got, 12 and a half? Yeah, 12 and a half kilos. So a nice light weight, but we're just activating muscle groups, just again reminding my body and my mind-muscle connection of how important these movements are. I don't think I'm strong enough to do that to Guntars off the go. I think it's more likely that I'm going to load up my ace, hit with the top roll as hard as I can. If I get through, I get through. If I don't get through, I'm willing to curl in. I'm also, depending on what he does, I'm willing to go out and fight here. There's any number of positions that could end up, but wrist flexion is one of those ones that has to be ready. And I have a little bit of deep pain when I'm doing the wrist flexion through my elbow that I'd like to iron out before next weekend. So this match will be filmed. It'll drop on AWE Underground. That's where it's probably the best place to see it, unless of course you're there. I'll try to edit it up nice and quickly too. But it's back to work tonight for me. I'll shortly be getting ready to go to work. So it's important that I get these little sessions in each afternoon. When I'm this close to a match that matters, you won't see me stretching myself anymore in terms of big, heavy weights. It's all, I won't go above sort of 70% of my heaviest lift. I may get to the gym again just to keep my chest and back alive, but the weights will be light if I do. They won't be heavy. Just trying to visualize. I find a really big part of my game is to visualize exactly the go. I do believe that neurological efficiency is one of the most crucial things, and all I mean by that is just your mind-muscle connection to the movement, the ability to envision the match. Like when I was a kid, as a tennis player, I used to go out and hit the ball against the wall the side of my house, and I'd be two players. I'd be Andre Agassi for one shot, then the next shot would be Pete Sampras, and I would not only be them in my mind and keep score, but I would shadow box them and try to play their style exactly, and try to feel the mind-muscle connection of what it is they do and why they do it. And I think that was a great teacher for me as a tennis player, and I do the same in arm wrestling. And so when I'm at the table with a training apparatus like this, it's very important for me to tap into that same thing and really visualize what's going on in matches when I'm doing this movement, and where it might happen, defensive curls and things like that, tucking the shoulder as I curl. The more you can replicate the exact position and the exact pathway that you're going to experience in the match, the better it's going to be, I reckon. So I didn't get to do any table time on Friday. Usually I would go on a Friday. Mosquito this time of day, that's crazy. Normally I would get to table time on Friday, but it was that Friday night where you might have seen me post on Instagram that I'd had 3 hours sleep in 72, and so I just went to bed. Unfortunately, it meant that I couldn't get to training, so I missed out on what would have been my last table time. So there won't be any solid table time between now and then. It's too close to the fire to go and group up with someone like Lachlan. It's too big a risk for a stretch on my elbow, so I've got to save it all for Guntars. I don't mind going into a hook with him, hey. He has a decent inside game when it comes to containment and rotation. He has a press finish, but I don't think his hook's where my hook is at. So if it lands in a hook, I'll just, as long as I keep him away from his press, I think I'm good. I think he knows that too, so I don't think he's going to intend on going there. He's going to do his best to keep it away, I think. Okay, a lot of lactic acid through the forearm doing this. Again, not counting reps or anything like that, just moving. Okay, so if you want to know where Jamie is today, Jamie's just off visiting family today. I think he'll be back shortly though. Good to see him out here training with me yesterday. Now this movement here, this is another neurological efficiency that I like to get ready for matches, and it's just a flat wristed press. A lot of my matches finish like this, where I've top rolled someone, but haven't been able to pin them, have to wait till they bleed, and then there's like this triangulation where it's not fully on top of my tricep. It's kind of like in a place where my side pressure is not sufficient. I achieve a shoulder lock, an elbow lock, and I just lean on it. It's kind of an outside of shoulder press, and it's never a high pressure. It's always a fairly low pressure once the match is gassed a bit, but it's a pressure that I often find myself finishing matches with. Letting the wrist drop back a little bit as well is a good thing. Gets the pressure right up into the base of the wrist. You start to get lactic acid higher into your forearm relative to your wrist, which is a nice thing. If you keep your wrist bent, you're going to feel it much more down here. You will feel the lactic acid at the point of your shoulder as well, so just be careful. Don't injure yourself by overdoing it too heavy. This is only 12.5 kilos, and as I was saying, in a match, This isn't something that is a high pressure thing anyway, because everyone's gassed by the time I'm using it. Okay, let's have a look at something. For something, oh, let's not look at the clothesline. So it's on the background of the fence. Let's have a look at the pump. Okay, left arm, right arm, left arm, no work, right arm work. Getting there. I feel pretty interesting at the moment. When I say interesting, I just mean I'm intrigued after seeing Artem's results today, after seeing Mario Timbakis. Shout out to Mario, like I said, he beat Jordan Sill on right, but then I think he lost to someone else and then lost to Jordan Sill the second time. But back and forth between those guys, good to see. I feel like the level that we're at is finally arriving relative to the world. Artem's victory over Paul, good stuff. I think it's getting bigger. Old lefty. I'm always surprised at how left develops, even though I don't use it. Some weird manner your body knows to develop it still in an arm wrestling sense. Like, I don't train my left forearm, and yet my left forearm is way better than the average gym goer's left forearm. Interesting. But this one here, the meat bag, everyone wants a meat bag. The longer you are in the sport, the higher the soft tissue gets close to your wrist. None better than Lachlan Adair's, to be honest, but this meat bag here, that line there, that separation and that soft tissue, it's what makes your wrist so big. It's not really the bone structure changing, it's just this soft tissue coming around the front and getting jammed up closer and closer to your hand that makes your wrist particularly wide. Obviously that there's bone though. That is something that has changed over the course of my arm wrestling through just, I don't know, repeated brutality. Because that's definitely wider too than it was. Left and right. I don't know if you can see the difference in wrists, but there definitely is a difference. You can see it easiest when I do that, the size difference, but anyway, here's what it is, hey. Alright guys, hope you're well. Short session, cruisy session, nothing much to it. My wife's made a strawberry cake inside at the moment, and I can smell it. And maybe I'll eat some, hey. Alright guys, well done, very impressed.